We think tennis is fun.
But apparently, we're wrong.
So here are our top 5 serious tennis rackets.
What makes a serious racket?
Weight.
Yes, usually heavy, usually a smaller head size.
Anything older, which will often tend to have a smaller head size, be worried. Those are the serious rackets. I'm looking for if it's weighty, if it's narrow beamed, if it's a small head size, if it's a tight string bed, if you've got something like an 18-19, an 18-20, something like that. Yeah, you're looking at a serious racket.
Yeah, the best tennis player I ever played walked onto court, no it wasn't Joe, walked onto court with a carrier bag from a local supermarket with a racket sticking out and a bottle of water in it. You can't judge your opponent based on their racket, or can you?
Well, I think you probably can. I would say, as a rule of thumb, Ben, if their racket is freshly strung but more than 10 years old, you're in trouble.
Yes, the one thing you know if someone's got a brand new racket is that they might have only been playing tennis 5 minutes. If someone's got a racket from 15, 20 years ago, that's 20 years of experience, you're probably in a bit of trouble.
Yes. I would also say you want to watch out for those niche brands. Someone's got a Volcal, someone's got a Dunlop, someone's got something really specific that you don't know, like a Prince Phantom.
Coming up in a minute, baby.
You're in trouble.
You're in big trouble. So here are our top 5 serious rackets for serious players.
In at number 5, we have
the brand new Gravity Tour from Head. Now this one might be a little bit of a surprise.
It is, but it seems as though when we've reviewed this racket, Ben, that lots of people in the comments take this racket very seriously and are very defensive about it.
Yeah, so it is a relatively new racket, so that kind of goes against our, it's something that people have played with for a long time. It's on its 3rd iteration, the Gravity range. This is the 98 square inch, 305 gram. It is a very hard racket to play with. It's not an easy racket. It does require some concentration and some focus, but mainly it just seems to be the racket of a serious tennis player, doesn't it?
Yeah, the online tennis keyboard warrior seems to be hugely into this racket and very upset when it's criticised.
Yes, so it is a good racket. We like it. We just don't like it as much as other things because it's a bit serious.
Bit too serious.
Yes.
So, the Head Gravity Tour 2025, in at number 5. In at number 4, it is the Yonex Percept 97H, a super heavy boy, Ben.
You nearly made it as an actor, didn't you? So close. Yeah, the 97H, this is the heaviest Percept you can buy today. This racket is an illustration of anybody who arrives at a match with a racket that's very, very heavy with a slightly smaller head size, probably made by Yonex.
Yes.
So anything Yonex have made in the last 20 years, over 315 grams, that's a serious tennis racket. This is just the one that you can buy today.
Yes. If someone turned up with this or a couple of these, I would look at them and first of all probably think, you're not good enough for that racket.
Until they prove otherwise.
Until they prove me wrong. So yes, this is a very, very nice racket. And actually, I was saying its defence, it doesn't feel it's 330 grams.
No.
It feels a lot more manoeuvrable. It's a very, very nice racket. But it's certainly serious at that weight, at that beam width. Yes, very, very serious.
If you can use it and you can handle it, that's going to be a common theme for a lot of these frames, isn't it? But we like the Percept 97H. It's just a bit serious.
Despite his forays into terrible music, I would describe Stefano Tsitsipas as a very serious person.
Yes, he takes his tennis quite seriously, doesn't he?
I would say so, yes.
Yeah, more so than most.
Yeah, and while that might be acceptable on the tour, maybe at club level or when you're playing your local matches, less so. So if someone turns up with a
Wilson Blade 98 1820,
you might be in trouble. Or they might be a poser like Tsitsipas.
Wilson Blades have been good rackets for a very, very long time. This is version 9. So straight away, you know there's a bit of heritage in there. Tennis players have been playing for a long time, may well have used a blade in the past. So any blade is a bit of a warning sign because they are the reserve of players who like a bit of touch, a bit of feel, who've got good hands, who need that feed. They're not looking for power. They're not looking for spin. They don't need any help. That's the blade.
Yes, and if you add on our sort of warning signs from before, if someone's to turn up with a blade that is 15 years old, then I'm pooping my pants.
Yeah, great. There's a lot of blades on the tour. We've actually used a blade made for Emma Raducanu, as it happens. It got sent to us by mistake, so we had a quick game with it. Very serious tennis racket.
Serious.
Very serious tennis racket.
Yeah, very serious.
This is a good illustration in terms of string pattern, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of tennis rackets come with a 16-19 string pattern, so that is 16 mains, 19 crosses. The more, and then this is an 18-20, so it's got 2 extra main strings, 1 extra cross. The more strings gives you a bit less power, gives you a bit less spin, but it gives you more control. And only a serious tennis player goes, I don't want power, I don't want spin. No,
I don't need it.
No, that's why 18-20 string patterns can often mean serious player incoming.
The second most serious racket, in our humble opinion, is serious because of its head size.
Yeah.
Clues in the name, Ben.
Yes, it is the Yonex V-Core 95.
95?
There is no way a joker's rocking up with one of these. If somebody arrives with a 95 square inch Yonex tennis racket, you are playing a serious tennis player.
We've moved on. We don't need 95s anymore.
No.
It's just unnecessary. It's a bit of a flex.
And partly why it's so serious,
Yes.
right? I am so good and I take my tennis so seriously, I'm going to use a racket that actually makes it harder for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is there an argument to say that part of the mental battle of tennis, you can actually get, we're talking about players that are scare you because of the equipment before you get in court. So maybe these marginal gains made by having these super serious rackets are worth a couple of points.
You sound very serious, Joe.
I use a serious racket.
There you go. That's that, and yes, may well be true. But again, that's quite serious.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
If you're looking for marginal gains, maybe going for one of these serious rackets is the move for you.
We should say at this point, we both like this, don't we?
Yeah,
and Josh does as well. We love it, but it's just too serious to play with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Certainly to coach with.
Yeah.
Never going to happen. And that's the point. Is if you want to take your tennis seriously and you want a 95 square inch racket, this is very, very good. It looks nice.
Yeah.
But so does the rest of the V-Core range, and the rest of the V-Core range also very good. Bit more fun, bit easier to use. That's the trade-off.
Why so serious? In at number 1 on the serious racket top 5.
We'll do this completely seriously.
That was completely.
No, I was doing it a bit. Yeah. It is the Head Prestige Tour.
And why the Tour, Ben?
Guess what? It's got a 95 square inch head.
We don't need it. It's too small.
And it weighs 315 grams.
It's a heavy racket with a small head. It has got a sensible string pattern though. It's 16-19, but it's 95 square inches and it's heavy. And for goodness sake, look at the colour of it.
Yeah, there is no way you're buying this for a 14-year-old's first racket.
You know why? No way you're buying this for the aesthetic in general, unless you like 1970s Rolls Royce, which I suppose. I mean, I'd love to have a 1970s Rolls Royce, but it looks like the interior of a gentleman's club.
I was going to say, I feel like you should play this wearing a smoking jacket.
Yes.
Yeah, a cigar smoker. It's a cigar smoker's tennis racket of choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is serious.
It is super serious. If someone rocks up with this in their bag, a couple of these maybe some weight added somewhere.
Yeah, you never know.
If they really want to spook you. The Head Prestige Tour, or any of the Prestige range, in fairness, are going to put the frighteners on you. Yeah,
the Head Prestige is a very old racket. It has been around for an incredibly long time. And again, that's helped garners the reputation. I think it hasn't really been revolutionised. Head came up with a formula for the Prestige a long time ago that it's been honed in. The players who like it, it just gets refreshed with a new look, more serious than the one before. It doesn't change, and that's what garners the reputation of a serious frame.
Yeah.
You know, a brand new racket launched last year is going to take a bit of time to get the serious players on board. Not saying it won't, but when a racket's been around for a long time, you know it's a serious racket, and the Prestige has a lot of prestige around it.
Very good.
There you go.
So there you go. The Head Prestige, our number 1 serious racket. So there you go. If someone you're playing turns up with a carrier bag, a couple of rackets stuck in, and they're any of these 5, you better get ready to play.
Oh, what about someone with 10 rackets? That could go either way, couldn't it?
It could, yeah. They could be a all the gear, no idea sort of character,
Or
they could be a pro.
yes, there's someone else who talks a lot about tension. Probably quite serious.
Yeah, talking about tension, talking about how they've weighted their racket. Serious.
Not necessarily good, but serious.
Yes.
There's a distinction there.
And serious also, not necessarily bad, Ben.
No, not at all. Not at all.
We like to say that we take tennis seriously, but not ourselves. As always, don't forget to like, follow, share, subscribe, so you can become as serious as us at PH Tennis.
Is that a tennis player coming across the road, do you think?
Well, that'll do.
Yeah, well, she's got the...
She's got the Waitrose bag with the prestige in it.